Hello, it's News Hour, and we are reaching you live from our studio in Lagos. Coming up, Nigeria Germany sealed $500 million deals on renewable energy and gas export. Ebonyi State government plans to return mission schools to original owners. Ghana secures $800 million loan for cocoa purchases at higher interest rates. Germany implements emergency spending freeze amidst budget crisis. On the news, I am Grace Komolafe. We begin from Berlin, where Nigerian and Ghanaian companies sealed two pivotal agreements on Tuesday in a significant move to strengthen economic ties. According to the presidential spokesperson Ajuri Ngelale in a statement, the accord valued at $500 million encompass a renewable energy pact and a gas export deal, marking a milestone in bilateral cooperation. Union Bank of Nigeria and Germany's DWS Group formalized a memorandum of understanding on renewable energy, and this strategic partnership aims to attract $500 million investment dedicated to renewable energy projects, with a primary focus on rural communities across Nigeria. According to the statement, the second MOU solidified a gas export partnership between Riverside LNG of Nigeria and Germany's Johannes Schultz Energy Imports AG. Nigerian committee commits to supplying 850,000 tons of natural gas annually to Germany, with projections indicating an increase to 1.2 million tons. Meanwhile, the federal government has revoked the operating license of 1,633 mining title holders due to the default of payment of stipulated service fees by operators. The Minister of Solid Minerals, Dr. Dele Alake, made the announcement in Abuja, stating that the revocation became imperative following the expiration of a 30-day notice to defaulters as stipulated by the Nigerian Mining Act. The minister further explained that efforts are ongoing to sanction other operators defaulting in payment of royalties, taxes, and others. The Office of the Accountant General of the Federation has taken a significant step towards modernizing the country's financial systems. This legislation aims to provide legal support for the ongoing public finance management PFM reform initiatives and streamline the operations of the Treasury of the Federation. This was revealed during the 2023 Federation Account Allocation Committee retreat in Asaba, Delta State, by the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Madin. Madin emphasized the urgency for this legislative overhaul, highlighting the outdated Finance Control and Management Act of 1958 currently governing financial operations. The proposed bill seeks to repeal this old law and introduce the Public Finance Management Bill. Once enacted, this bill will establish a robust legal framework and the Treasury's operations, institutionalize PFM reforms, and regulate the management of public funds. Similarly, the federal government has announced the launch of a portal for startup support and engagement registration. The Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, disclosed this on X on Tuesday night. He tweeted, "We are pleased to announce the launch of the Startup Support and Engagement Portal, a key requirement for the implementation of the Nigeria Startup Act. The Startup Portal will drive the identification and aggregation of Nigerian startup, venture capital companies, hubs, and innovation centers to facilitate engagement and support for ecosystem players." The Minister of Works, David Umahi, says federal government needs $35 billion to kickstart the construction of concrete roads nationwide. He also stated that the Maribond Ajaokuta Steel Company will provide 16% of the steel material needed for the construction of Nigerian roads in concrete pavement. This far-reaching resolution was the point of discussion when the Works Minister met with the Minister of Steel Development, Shuaib Audu, at the ministry's headquarters in Abuja. The Chief Press Secretary to the Minister, Orji Uchenna, in a statement on Tuesday said, the meeting underscored the imperative of coordination, cooperation, and coherence in the execution of the federal government's action plans for national development. The minister noted that the funding, which would be gotten through a partnership with a commercial bank, will be agreed on by the Federal Executive Council. The former Ebonyi State Governor also assured the Steel Minister of his support to enhance the potentialities of the Ajaokuta steel plants. In another development, the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, says the country is set to generate thousands of jobs in Nigeria through innovative initiatives. During a meeting with the Senior Director of Global Licensing and Activation at SpaceX and Rayan, held on the sidelines of the International Telecommunication Union World Radio Communication Conference in Dubai, Tijani noted that Nigeria is now Starlink's largest market in Africa, thereby stressing the importance of connecting unserved and underserved Nigerians. He expressed the possibility of creating numerous jobs through initiatives like a certified installer maintenance program for Starlink and collaborating with local hardware startups to produce repeater boxes. And still in the communications sector, the Executive Vice Chairman of Nigeria Communications Commission, Dr. Aminu Maida, has stressed the importance of quality of service for telecom operators, adding that the Commission will not tolerate any excuses in delivering high-quality service. During an interactive session with industry operators in Lagos, Maida stressed the need to bridge access gaps and improve coverage and connectivity, particularly in rural areas, through the expansion of broadband infrastructure. He emphasized the importance of providing consumers with value for their money and noted that the tech industry must strive for excellence in delivering services. The NCC boss also stressed his commitment to creating a favorable investment environment while leveraging the Universal Service Provision Fund, USPF, to bridge the digital divide in Nigeria. The Nigerian Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, is set to launch a new e-dividend portal on November 30, 2023, as part of efforts to combat the challenge of unclaimed dividends. The portal aims to simplify the e-dividend mandate process, enhance efficiency, and reduce the occurrence of unclaimed dividends. SEC is also working on an identity management system to prevent the accumulation of new unclaimed dividends, showing the commitment to address the root cause of this issue. The introduction of the new portal is poised to streamline e-dividend mandate process and provide a more efficient and user-friendly system for shareholders to claim their dividends. And away from that, the United States government has announced that Nigeria and other African countries will receive over $450 million in financing through the Digital Transformation with Africa (DTA) initiative. The initiative, launched by President Biden in December 2022, aims to expand digital access, strengthening U.S.-Africa commercial relations, enhance digital literacy, and support digital enabling environments in Africa. The U.S. Consul General in Nigeria, Will Stevens, noted that the initiative focuses on collaboration with Africa as the U.S. government believes that Africa contributes significant value globally. The initiative has already received a $350 million investment from the U.S. government, with plans for additional investment to develop an inclusive and resilient digital ecosystem in Africa. On tax-related matters, the chairman of the Federal Island Revenue Service, FIRS, Zach Adedeji, has urged non-domestic companies involved in shipping crude oil from Nigeria to adhere strictly to the country's tax laws. This was revealed at a workshop organized by FIRS in collaboration with the oil producers' trade sections to address challenges related to the taxation of non-resident shipping companies. Adedeji noted that the ongoing compliance exercise on foreign shipping companies is part of broader measures to expand the tax net and boost government revenue without disrupting their operations, and also assured international companies that the FIRS is focused on ensuring compliance with existing tax laws and not to disrupt their activities. In same vein, the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, LIRS, has introduced an upgraded process for the collection of hotel occupancy and restaurant consumption tax in the state. The new collection process, known as the Eco-Fiscal System, EFS, is an automated invoicing solution designed to bring about a change in the collection of consumption taxes in Lagos State. According to the executive chairman of LIRS, Ayodele Swaba, the model will impact the operations of hotels, event centers, restaurants, bars, and related facilities in Lagos, streamlining processes, enhancing efficiency, and simplifying compliance for the businesses in the hospitality sector. He added that the model is specifically tailored to address the challenges associated with the manual collection, such as error, penalties, and increased costs. The Ebonyi State government has announced plans to return all mission schools to their original owners by the end of the year. Governor Francis Nwifuru made this announcement during a visit by the Catholic Bishop of Abakaliki Diocese, Most Reverend Dr. Peter Nwori Chukwu. Governor Nwifuru acknowledged that the important role played by the Catholic Church in ensuring quality education and directed by the commissioners for primary and secondary education for the Attorney General of the state to begin the process of handing over the mission schools to their original owners, while emphasizing the need for the church to focus on its primary duty of preaching salvation rather than getting involved in politics. The governor expressed his administration's commitment to working closely with the churches, including the Catholic Church. In addition to the handover of mission schools, Governor Nwifuru announced plans to send promising graduates abroad for future education and then have them return to teach in local schools. And in celebration of International Television Day, a renowned veteran broadcaster, Julie Coker, has spoken on the need to empower and encourage presenters on television stations in the country in circle with international best practices. Speaking as a guest on an early morning program, Early Exchange, on Sook News to mark World Television Day, Julie Coker expressed concerns over the poor remuneration paid to television workers, unlike their counterparts all over the world who had the same capacity as them.
The board takes a decision and then it trickles down right, to that level. But it is the presenter that actually is the spokesperson, the figure that people, recognize, and they think that that is what television is all about. It involves so many other, people and functions in different aspects of the job. In our own time, the script was written to the minutest detail. And if it says you are going to say a few words in 30 seconds, you dare not exceed the 30 seconds. But now, it's free for all. Some people just come on board and they go on and on and on and on, and there's no checks and balances. But I still want that situation where the presenter is the one that is the face of the nation, as it were, and in some cases, during, if there's a coup, for instance, touch wood that it never happens again, if you're in the studio and a group of soldiers storm the studio or the radio station, like in the past, it has happened before, the presenter will be taken away, and because people had that wrong idea that it was the presenter that was in charge, whereas the poor presenter, maybe even the lowest paid, because up till now I don't know any presenter that is earning enough money to keep head and shoulder above water. In other countries, of course, presenters are paid highly. Some of them are earning 2, 3, 5, 20 million, like film stars. But in Nigeria, I think the presenter is still paid like, what you would give your, I won't even mention any kind of labor, thinking about the salaries that are earned by people in other ranks. But the presenter earns very little in Nigeria. First of all, I think that something should be done to rectify that situation and make sure that, presenters are paid highly. Presenters rise to a level where they can own their own channel. That happens in America, that happens in other parts of the world, that they are the face of the station and that they are the power behind the whole situation. But that doesn't happen in Nigeria. You are, thought about as a civil servant and kicked off whenever some people think that, you're giving your best and they think you should move up to another level.
Moving on, dignitaries from all walks of life converged in Lagos on Tuesday at the Moson Center, Onikon, to attend the book presentation of the autobiography of eminent elder statesman, Chief Edwin Keagbodo Clark. The 688-page titled Brutally Frank is the narration of Nigerians' journey into the statehood and nation building as perceived by the eminent statesman, politician, lawyer, and human rights advocate. As he progressed in statesmanship, the political status of Chief Edwin Clark evolved to become a national crusader of peace, equity, justice, and fair play. In his remark at the presentation of the book, Brutal Frank, the chairman of the occasion and elder statesman, Senator Anthony Adefuye, noted that one of the most enduring names in contemporary Nigerian politics and public life was that of Chief Senator Dr. Edwin Keagbodo Clark, adding that he has over the past 96 years grown to becoming one of Nigeria's most celebrated personalities. There were also messages from His Royal Majesty Oba of Lagos, Rilwan Babatunde Aremu Akiolu, and the Executive Governor of the state, Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. We go on a short break, and when we return, we'll bring you more news updates. Stay with us. Away from Nigeria, following the recent restructuring of Ghana's debt, which impacted investors' appeal, the West African country has secured its annual loan to finance cocoa purchases at higher interest rates. In the aftermath of the debt overhaul, international banks have committed to providing the country's cocoa board, the industry regulator, with an $800 million loan for cocoa procurement from farmers. The terms of the deal revealed an interest rate of nearly 8%, marking the most expensive facility the board has obtained since the inception of its annual loan in the 1992-1993 fiscal year. The loan's high interest rate shows the challenges the country faces in the aftermath of its debt restructuring as investors reassess the risks associated with the country's financial commitments. The $800 million loan intended for cocoa purchases is a critical aspect of supporting the country's vital cocoa industry. And still in Africa, in response to the persistent challenges posed by currency depreciation and a reduction in fuel subsidies, Angola's central bank has made a move by raising its key interest rate for the first time in over 2 years. The decision comes as the nation, which is the second largest in oil producer on the continent, grapples with the impact of these economic factors on inflation. Governor Manuel Thiago Diaz, leading the central bank's Monetary Policy Committee, announced the decision to increase the bank benchmark interest rate from 17% to 18%, and this marks a notable departure from the previous stance, having maintained the rate in the two meetings preceding this adjustment. The move reflects the central bank's approach to address the economic challenges stemming from currency fluctuations and the reduction in fuel subsidies. In a decisive response to the recent ruling by Germany's top court, the country has implemented an emergency spending freeze, marking a crucial development in the ongoing budget crisis that has sent ripples through Europe's largest economy. Chancellor Olaf Scholz's government finds itself in a race against time, diligently assessing the far-reaching implications of the Constitutional Court's judgment. This decision has cast doubt on the financing of special funds amounting to hundreds of billions of euros, which exist outside the confines of the regular federal budget. The imposition of spending freeze shows the government's commitment to navigate this budgetary challenge with agility and resolve, as Germany, a key economic powerhouse in Europe, grapples with the ramifications of the court's decision. There is an evident determination to address the intricacies of these special funds and ensure financial stability. And at the close of Tuesday's trading session on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, NGX, a total of 491,397,660 shares were traded in 6,549 deals, corresponding to a market value of 3,221,797,970 naira. Compared to the Tuesday's data shows a 37% improvement in volume, but a 26% decline in turnover. The current market capitalization of the Nigerian Stock Exchange is 39,100 billion naira. In the aggregate, 122 GX listed equities participated in trading, ending with 45 gainers and 8 losers. Media Industry led the gainers with a 10% share price appreciation, closing at 6.93 naira per share, followed by Lane Africa, Northern Nigerian Flour Mills, and Cadbury Nigeria. On the losing side, Champion Breweries came out last with an end-of-day price depreciation of 10% at 3.24 naira per share, followed by Owando International Breweries and FCMB Group. United Bank recorded the highest volume of 75.4 million traded shares, followed by Universal Insurance Company, Mutual Benefits Assurance, and Japol Gold and Ventures. At the close of Tuesday's trading session on the Nairobi Security Exchange, NSE, a total of 9,030,300 shares in 869 deals, corresponding to a market value of 97,921,421 Kenyan shilling were traded. Compared with Monday's NSE trading day, today's data shows a 47% improvement in volume, a 47% improvement in turnover, and a 10% improvement in deals. The current market capitalization of the Nairobi Security Exchange is 1,420 billion Kenyan shilling. In the aggregate, 46 NXE-listed equities participated in trading, ending with 23 gainers and 15 losers. Sanlam Kenya led the gainers with a 10% share price appreciation, closing at 7.48 Kenya shilling per share, followed by CAR and General Kenya, TPS, Eastern Africa, Serena, and Liberty Kenya Holdings. On the losing side, Kapchorwa Tea Company came out last with an end-of-day price depreciation of 8.17% at 219.25 Kenya shilling per share, followed by Olympia Capital Holdings, Everready East Africa, and Uchumi Supermarket. Safaricom recorded the highest volume of 4.62 million traded shares, followed by KenGen, Kenya Power and Lighting Company, and Cooperative Bank of Kenya. Closing on that note, we'll wrap up the news at this hour. Thank you for watching. I am Grace Komolafe. Good afternoon.